forget all you know about podcasts. We welcome you to an experience uniquely different. Please join us for our coverage of all entertainment on the fringe of society. The candles are lit, the lights are down low. It is now time from our host, as he steps up to the pulpit. The sacrifice has been prepared for the midnight black mass.
Ghastly greetings, groovy ghoulies. Welcome to another episode of the Midnight Black Mass. I am your host, the Reverend Dan Wilson, the devil you know, the maniacal minister, the occult, the mouth of hell, alongside my broadcaster. He's been known by many names over the years, the one-man hairband, the Hollywood hacksaw, the Southeastern Strangler, but now the commissioner and matchmaker of Empire Wrestling, Mr. Andrew Alexander. How's it going, man?
What did Terry Funk say to the guy that jerked off on his face?
I have no idea.
My eye!
God damn it. Well, there's a reason we were ranked in the top 150 worldwide shock podcasts, and Andrew Alexander throwing a little bit of shock at you right here at the top of the hour. On the program, we return to our filthy usual format tonight after taking a little bit of a departure from the normal format last week with our Crazy from the Heat spectacular review, and that was a great time. What'd you get into this week? Everything rolling good since the craziness of last week's broadcast?
That's debatable, man. We're going to have to get into that in one of our segments, though. I mean, I think the most traumatizing event that could ever happen to a person happened to me, but I'm sure we'll touch on that later. It's frightening.
Well, that's really saying something in the wake of a national tragedy happening in our hometown, but I'm very interested to see.
A national tragedy happened in my hometown. It wasn't near as bad as the one that happened in Chattanooga. I mean, nobody's going to be lowering flags 5 days late because of what happened to me. But if you ask me, it's in the same ballpark.
Wow.
It's maybe single A to where that was, the worst, the majors.
Fair enough. Well, I'm very much looking forward to hearing that. I had a pretty awesome weekend. Of course, we participated in Empire Wrestling and hosted a live Midnight Black Mass with Ace Rockwell. That was a good time, and there was a big event that we're going to talk about here in just a second. But also saw, just to give a real quick concert review, I saw the one and only King of the Country Western Troubadours, Unknown Henson, with Roger Allen Wade in tow for support live in Chattanooga at Rhythm and Brews. The weekend after all that crap happened, it was really nice to get out there amongst people, and people were feeling the love. Like, don't believe what you read on social media, and I'll get to that in Old Man Haters, but you get out amongst the city, amongst the people, there is a lot of love out there, and everybody had a good time. There were two really special performances, I thought. There was a great energy, packed house. Really raunchy, but they knew their audience. And I've seen Unknown Henson now 8 times. He's been a guest here on the show. Huge fan of his music and his hilarious voice acting on Squidbillies. And he didn't disappoint. As a matter of fact, we got the big city show. Chattanooga usually only gets the shorter set from him, but we got the full almost 2 hours with the extra encore where he'll come out and actually play. He played I'm 18 and Voodoo Child as his encore. They're pretty fucking badass. He usually doesn't do any covers.
That's awesome. That's awesome. So it was a big city night.
Yes, it was. Just like the Scorpions, it was a big city night.
We are the Scorpions. We love you, America.
Oh, you hit the rock, you're like a hurricane.
This is Wind of Change. just one change, not many change. Not just one win and one change. Well, that's good. I'm glad people are hanging out, not letting the tragedy and all the negativity get to them and stuff.
Yeah, that's how you don't let the terrorists win, is you keep moving on with your life and don't let those motherfuckers disrupt what you would normally do. You know, that's the American way. But
living well is the best revenge. That's what I say.
The great motto to live by.
I tell myself that. Living well is the best revenge. People are going to be there. They're going to hate on you. Man, if they see you doing good, that's just going to make them so much worse. It's going to make them mad. So I'll go shake my dick at the Taliban and ISIS and say, I'm doing fucking great. And they'll get mad.
Yeah, and fuck them. Yeah, fuck them.
Absolutely.
On to some wrestling news, the brief wrestling portion of the program. Ain't going to be too brief. There's a lot going on this week. Before we dig in real deep in that, just a quick couple of plugs and get out of the way. Of course, again, talked about it last week, but be on the lookout for the Scenic City Invitational Tournament. Empire Wrestling's bringing some of the best talent from all over the country in for this huge independent tournament. It's getting a lot of press and publicity, and Woo Wrestling will be producing that and selling the home video, and I will be rejoining Al Getz on commentary for that. So stay tuned to that. You can find out more at facebook.com/Empire Wrestling or Woo Wrestling or Scenic City Invitational. 3 different pages where you can find out information about that. And then also, of course, Empire Wrestling, this past weekend as we record this, had a big event live at the Empire Arena leading into the next event coming up. Here, is that going to be the first weekend in August, am I correct?
Yeah, August 1st, we'll be back. That's the week before the Scenic City Invitational.
So give us a quick recap of what happened this past weekend that's major as far as leading in to the next event on August 1st and what the fans can look forward to on that night.
Well, this past weekend, man, as you know, because you were sitting there, the Baniac got me soaking wet again. In a backstage vignette, we were trying to do something special for the people, and he ruined it. But it's not worth talking about. He had a good match with Chip Day from the White Rose. Chip Day got a victory there. Main event saw Logan Alvey taking on one half of the Hatriots, Jason Hampton. And when Jason Hampton's tag partner Eli Thompson interfered, Gunnar Miller come out to help out Logan Alvey. He stated that he would watch Logan's back because until he gets his title shot, he wants to make sure Logan's 100%. So when they have their match, there's no excuses, there's no controversy, there's no nothing. So I went out, I made that a tag match, really strong showing from the Hatriots, but the heavyweight champion Logan Alvey and Gunnar Miller pulled out the big win. And like you said earlier, Ace Rockwell appearing in the Midnight Black Mass. The feeling I got was he's going to move on from this Sean Tempers situation as long as Sean Tempers allows that. So I guess we're going to have to see, like me and you talked about. If I was Sean Tempers, I would just move on. I don't know if I could show my face in the building, but if he does, hopefully they just go about their business. And he said he was getting back in the title hunt for the Empire Heavyweight Championship, so we'll see. August 1st, I know Bobby Moore contacted me and wants to face Ace Rockwell. And we know the hit for hire, Bobby Moore. If he's requesting to face someone, especially Ace Rockwell, I've got a nagging suspicion that Ace may be the hit and Bobby Moore is the hire. So I guess we'll see what turns up there. Also, Ryan Vega going to defend his Empire Junior Heavyweight Championship against the Baniac. It's not so much that I'm doing a favor for the Baniac. It's just that kind of punishing Ryan Vega because of the White Rose attacking Kyle Matthews at last week's show. Made him face Tank, and Tank's return to the ring, and he weaseled his way out of that before completely break him. So not only is he going to defend his junior heavyweight title against the Baniac, him and Chip Day, the White Rose, will be facing the Youngbloods in, I believe, the first ever meeting between these two tag teams. 2 hot, up-and-coming tag teams. First time meeting, and I'm sure it's going to be a great match.
Yeah, I wouldn't doubt that. The Youngbloods coming off that huge victory, and the White Rose having probably the most momentum of anybody in Empire Wrestling right now. I think it's going to be an interesting collision. Somebody's going to step up and somebody's going to not, at least if there's a decisive victor there. And, plus Brian Vega having to pull double duty against the Baniac, that's going to be interesting to see how he deals with that, because certainly their attitude hasn't been what we would call stellar, of course, running roughshod over the company as they have.
Absolutely. And, I don't care for their attitude at all. It's kind of gotten out of control. It seems they would have learned maybe a lesson after their tank returned and, basically handed all three of them their asses single-handedly. But, apparently it hasn't. So, we'll see what the future brings. We're going to get past the Scenic City Invitational, and I know that's a huge tournament, but the next month we're going to go into our third annual Chasing the Grail #1 contendership tournament to see who will face the Empire Heavyweight Champion Logan Alvey at Chasing the Grail for that title, and that's going to be a huge event too. So definitely big things happening for Empire Wrestling in the fall and winter coming up. That's always the best time to check out pro wrestling, because you don't want to be outside freezing. You don't want to be the weather's not working with you well. You can't go out. You can't have the cookouts and fireworks and all the nice things that come with summer. So that's the best time of the year to check out some local pro wrestling. So hopefully, if people do that, they want to come to Empire in Rossville, 22 Austin Avenue.
Outstanding. And of course, catch Empire on social media, Facebook.com/Empire Wrestling, on Twitter @EmpirePW, and on the website at EmpireWrestling.net, the home of Empire TV. You can see many of the feature events that have garnered so much acclaim right there on the website. All you have to do is sign up, provide an email address. They'll give you a password, and you're in. And you will also be in line for early ticket purchases like the Scenic City Invitational VIP package. You'll also be in line for the early release of Crazy from the Heat 2015, which I'm not wanting to get anything out of the bag, nothing official here, but looks like Empire may be delving into the array of digital media in terms of subscriptions. You may actually be able to purchase through one of the carriers that do that sort of thing. Crazy from the Heat. There'll be more info coming up on that soon. So definitely want to check out Empire Wrestling. Moving along to talk about some big-time wrestling news. There's a lot of crazy X-Files-like conspiracies going on in wrestling right now. And, there seems to be a little bit of truth to some of it, but, how much of that narrative is fact and how much of it's fiction, who knows? But, of course, it starts at the very top of the food chain with the WWE. They control everything, of course, and are the top dog and always set the pace. And speaking of, just a little aside, did you see that fucking pull-apart between Undertaker and Lesnar on Raw?
Of course.
Man, that was fucking hot shit.
I shouldn't say of course, because I don't I got rid of the old cable and haven't been watching Raw, but I have been checking out the highlights. I find it much more enjoyable that way. The 3 hours is just simply too much, but that's a whole nother discussion doesn't seem to be changing anytime soon. But yeah, that was definitely good business. Those spots, they always work. It's hard to mess those up. It really is. They have before, but it is difficult. I've booked several of them. I've seen several of them at Empire. They're always popular. They're always just over with the crowd. And this is the best one I can remember being done, especially by the WWE in a long time, if ever, because, they cleared out 95% of the locker room. There were some top guys out there breaking this up, and, that's Undertaker and Brock Lesnar. That's the type of manpower it takes, and it barely got split up, and that's awesome. The return of Undertaker at the Battleground pay-per-view, very much a surprise. We haven't been seeing much of him outside of WrestleMania season, so really trying to boost up SummerSlam, which I think is great. They've done a great job with SummerSlam the past couple of years, for several years now, but they've really made it a strong number 2 to WrestleMania. And this is definitely a sign of that. Hopefully Taker is feeling good, because when he comes back, it's just a reminder of how important and how awesome that guy is. He's just truly special, and it's going to be a sad, sad, sad day for the business when he finally does decide to hang it up, which is obviously rumored to happen at WrestleMania next year. Because he can't go forever, but he's definitely one of a kind, one in a billion. It's always special just to have him involved in anything. So that right there, I mean, they're probably going to make some money off that. They should sell some subscriptions, some pay-per-views.
Yeah, there are two big guys throwing down like that. You hardly get something that legit, and that was fucking legit as fuck. And people were buying into that, and it was just worth mentioning because it was fucking incredible. But but apparently there's this giant either a shit rolls downhill food chain or a fucking pie chart of doom. But you look at wrestling, and so WWE's on the top of this, but allegedly there's internal issues with NXT. Maybe Kevin Dunn, who, is a very important figure there. Word has it, these are the internet rumors, so take them with a grain of salt. But word has it that Kevin Dunn is kind of fucking with NXT. Like, he doesn't like the popularity that they're getting separate, from the main brand. And, he doesn't like that Triple H kind of has Vince's ear. And, he's always kind of had Vince's ear. And so that's kind of been the bone of contention. So allegedly he's been fucking with NXT. And so you have that. And then you have NXT fucking with Ring of Honor. Because apparently they see that as an alternative market that they can tap into and kind of swipe some of those dollars that Ring of Honor is bringing in away, which apparently the thing with Liger is part of that. And apparently they've done some things with some venues where they have kind of froze NXT out of some venues, froze ROH out of some venues, basically, stating that, hey, you can let us in, we're WWE, and, we're going to bring all this attention to your place, but you just have to sign an exclusivity clause. So, but they're, directly apparently targeting buildings that they run. So that's something, allegedly. That's part of this overall conspiracy. And then ROH is apparently sending Global Force cease and desist over advertising guys as former ROH stars. And apparently they've blocked Moose from appearing on some dates and some other guys. So it's like this one giant fucking, like I said, it's a shit rolls downhill flow chart. What are your thoughts on that?
Global Force is going to take over TNA. Jeff Jarrett's going to cause an invasion, and Lucha Underground got Hernandez pulled from TNA because he lied about being out of contract. So MVP ends up quitting. But meanwhile, you can see great live wrestling every other Saturday at Empire Wrestling, Austin Avenue in Ross Hill. And spoiler alert, after Labor Day, we're going back to every Saturday night, 8:05. So don't forget that, fans. You may get some bullshit, but it's going to be a lot less bullshit than the Reverend just described, because that's wrestling. That all sounds pretty accurate to me. That Kevin Dunn, man, I mean, he's obviously good at his job because they're a extremely well-produced show. If nothing else, a bad episode of Raw is still well-run and well-produced. But NXT, that makes them sound and seem so hypocritical because they always talk about connecting with the audience and connecting with the WWE universe, and they make the decisions, and if they want you, they get you. NXT is working. NXT is over. NXT is producing some decent talent. NXT is making money. NXT is almost sold out. That show they're doing the night before SummerSlam in New York, I think that's almost sold out. Like, they had to release more tickets. That's money. That's money that you would not be making if the brand wasn't working. And, he clearly has a hard-on for bringing it down because, they've sent, quite a few guys that had good stuff working in NXT, and it just has not worked or gotten over at Raw. The Ascension, Bo Dallas, Adam Rose, the Lucha Dragons, I think, should be doing more on TV. These are guys that came up straight from NXT that their stuff was working in NXT, and now, they're just kind of floundering. So obviously something's going on there. And as far as the Ring of Honor, I think NXT would be very wise to move in on the independent wrestling market because that's kind of what they have going. But that doesn't mean you have to hurt someone else's business to do that. that might make some diehard Ring of Honor fans, that might make them mad enough to where they boycott the product, and you're going to lose that money to where otherwise you wouldn't. So I think that may be a mistake. If that's true, we'll have to see how that goes on in the future. But I definitely think NXT is a strong alternative to, any independent promotion, because they're doing a lot of that style, using a lot of independent guys like a Samoa Joe, obviously that, the Sami Zayns, Kevin Owens, Neville, all of these guys that they've gotten directly from the independents, quote unquote. So, that's smart of them, but I don't think it helps their product to hurt someone else's.
No, and there's another thing I heard that I just have to go off on here before we close out the wrestling news, and it's going to try to make it brief. But I don't know who the fuck's idea this is, and, if it's somebody smart and they've got something behind it, like a backup plan or an insurance policy to make it safer, whatever, but it sounds like the idea of a dumb fuck that didn't have any fucking business suggesting ideas like this in the first place. And they apparently, because Ring of Honor does a lot of it, are asking the NXT guys to do more bumps on the fucking apron. Now, the apron, as many will know, is the hardest part of the ring. I've seen a lot of guys get seriously fucking hurt by trying cutesy bumps on the apron. Matter of fact, at NWA Chattanooga one time, I remember Kyle Matthews getting his face split open by a bump on the apron. It's it's a very fucking unsafe place to be landing in a wrestling ring in an environment where it's not really safe to be landing in the first place. But at least if you're doing it right, properly trained in the middle of the ring, it's one thing. You do it on the outside minimally, and you try to minimize the risk when you do it. The apron is unpredictable. What the fuck? Are they going to be getting these guys health insurance for all the fucking extra injuries they're going to have? Are they going to put more padding on the apron? What is the fucking deal with that?
And I don't think it's just NXT guys. I read that there were almost a dozen type of apron bumps on that Battleground pay-per-view. A dozen on one show. That's insane. The thing is there's a big difference in talent taking it upon themselves to do apron bumps and things such as that to try to get over and try to get the big pops. That's fine, but when you start requesting that guys do it and requesting that guys take bigger risks, that's ridiculous. They do stuff like they ban Seth Rollins' curb stomp finish after he's been doing it for 2 years. He becomes the world heavyweight champion, and they decide, oh, you're finished, that it's really over and established. You need to quit doing it because it's dangerous. I would take that curb stomp 1,000,000 times before I took a power bomb on the apron. I mean, I wrestled for 13 years. I know how it feels. I will take that curb stomp every night before I take a power bomb on the apron. So, I mean, what the hell? Whoever makes that decision, you're right. They don't know anything about being in the ring or what it feels like, because they would know that, some things that they ban. I would take pile drivers from any guy that was professional 1,000,000 times before I would take a suplex or a DDT or a power bomb on the apron. But they banned those. Just things like that. It's so weird. They get on these kicks and they don't think about other decisions that they made. But I don't think that's a good idea. I don't think, and not to mention that if you take a dozen bumps on a show on the apron, they're not special anymore. Fans react to them and they get over because they're special and you don't see them very often, and you can tell that there's a lot more impact. But if you're doing them all the time, they lose that shine.
Yeah, that's a fact. That is a fact. So that's a dumb fucking idea. Dumb fucking idea. I hate to openly criticize them often because, I'm here and they're fucking there, and that's for a reason. But God damn it, that's fucking stupid. And whoever come up with that is gonna be fired after they see all the fucking medical bills that the extra bumps on the apron caused. But anyway,
when somebody gets hurt, when a top guy gets hurt, we'll see what happens then.
Yeah, because it's always about that bottom line in dollars and cents, especially for a company like that. But in any event, we'll close out the wrestling news here for the evening. But while we're in a pissy mood, let's go ahead and get to Old Man Haters. Old man, why
everything new. Partly because I don't understand it, and partly because fuck you. It's time for Old Man Haters.
What's wrong with you?
It's either this show or indigestion. I hope it's indigestion.
Why?
It'll get better in a little while.
You listen to the Midnight Black Mass, and it's time to bitch. It's time for Old Man Haters. So last week we talked about the awful tragedy in Chattanooga that happened, and we just kind of ranted and raved on the horribleness of that situation and the perpetrator, etc. But this week, God, in the fallout, it's a unique thing living in a city. I like that something like that has happened in. I've never experienced that before. It's not like 9/11, I don't think, or anything like that, but you can kind of get a sense. And like even so, during the days of those tragedies, social media wasn't so dominant in the world like it is now. And I have to say, I finally fucking lost it and just had to unfollow just about everybody on Facebook. Like if you were posting multiple political opinions a day, you're probably gone. You get a pass one every now and then, it's fine, and that's your right, whether I agree with it or not. But just the incessant beating over the head of it and the fucking misinformation that is everywhere that people just perpetuate without any fucking second thought. It fucking finally just, it got to me. And I was like, man, Facebook it's worse than raw sewage. It's worse than a toilet. I don't know if I could fucking find a word to describe it, but it's worse than that.
So what, were you offended by people that were offended by, because I didn't click on any news information, so I really don't know what is going on exactly. I know the flag issue where they didn't lower the flag, and I guess they finally did today. But, they've done all sorts of other special treatment, like when it was announced that gay couples could get married, they made the White House rainbow colored, whatever. And I get that. I get that is ridiculous that it takes you 5 days to lower the flag. I don't know what bitching about it constantly changes, really. I guess maybe it does when, half of the country does it and the White House wakes up. So what else has been happening? What parts were you pissed off or offended? I mean, I'm tired of seeing, just the constant, scrolling through, and that's all I see as well. But what parts exactly were you offended by?
It's just so much. Like, that's part of it. I understand that people don't fucking necessarily like the president, and I hate to get into politics because it's such a fucking it's a bad idea to talk about publicly. And I'll just say I've not always been the biggest fan of the dude, but I think people could cut him a little slack on this. Basically people are openly accusing the guy of being in a plot with fucking ISIS to destroy America, I don't know how many fucking people you have on your Facebook that talk shit like this, and I'm like, do you really believe that? I mean, that's cool, I guess, but it's a little fucking scary if you think that's true. There's a lot more, and it's just, people were mad that we didn't fucking immediately declare World War III on the foreign country when they're still investigating it to, make sure it was actually linked to foreign terrorism and not just some dude fucking losing his shit, which is important.
I was about to say, how do we know it's a terrorist act? How do we know that it just wasn't a guy of foreign descent that lost his shit and was like, here's who I'm targeting, because people do crazy things. People in that situation do crazy stuff. They want the attention even though they're dead and gone and can't enjoy it. How do we know that that's not just this guy's issue? Has it been
we don't.
Has it been proven? Okay.
You got to trust the law enforcement as much as you might not want to to do their job and fucking investigate it and get the answers. I mean, they're not just going to go fucking declare war on a country without knowing for sure that something happened. You know, obviously, if we were attacked by a foreign country or a group, then I think the government's probably going to retaliate in kind. But, you know, give them fucking time. Like, and the shit with the flags, like if you actually look into it, which I didn't know this because I was like, man, people are so mad about this. I'm like, you know, you think about it, and you're like, yeah, you're like you said, man, it is kind of fucked up. But if you look, they didn't do it because it's not a fucking common practice to lower the staff for soldiers dying because they're considered killed in combat. And if they did that, the flag would perpetually be at half-mast because soldiers are always dying in combat. This is a special situation. Yeah. I understand why they waited on it now after reading up on it, but, you know, I can also understand people's emotional reaction to it. It's an emotional time. The security of our town was pretty much fucking raped. You know, you think you live in this safe little small town, and it's not. You know, like you said last week, anything could fucking happen. So I understand where the people are getting emotional, but, man, take some time to check your facts. Like, everything is just not so one-sided, one way or the other. And you know, it goes to the same people on the opposite end of the spectrum that just would constantly bitch about it. You know, it's like I just get tired of fucking seeing it. It's negative energy that I don't need in my fucking life.
Yeah, and I mean, like you just said, that was kind of my first thought. My thought was if they lower the flag for every type of event like this, it would never be in the air. You know, and this is not anything to make light of, and it's a tragedy. And you know, if that was someone I knew, I would be devastated. I understand the people that are close to it are just, you know, dying inside. I get it, but you know, like you just said, if you lower the flag for every time a soldier was shot, it would never be up. And sure, there is a difference from when you're all fighting in the war and when you're just, you know, kind of doing your job on the homeland, but you know, that's kind of what I thought as well. I thought that maybe that's something that's probably reserved for much bigger issues. I mean, didn't the president make some statements like that night when it happened?
Yes, he did, and people were mad that he wasn't standing up and addressing the country. Like, it's like, you know, we got the acknowledgement, and you know, he even like wrote some kind of letter of condolence to the state, which is like some kind of official document. And, you know, like I said, you know, I've not always been the biggest fan of the dude, but I, like, as a fucking, what I could consider myself a unattached party, like, I try not to cling too hard to Republican or Democrat philosophies, but, you know, choose my own opinions because, like I've said before, it's just, that groupthink can be dangerous. But as somebody kind of on the outside of the situation, I do feel like people give that dude way too hard of a fucking time, like all the time. Like I just think that they just have decided they hate him and they don't want to give him a chance. Like even when he does what they want, they're gonna find something else to bitch about.
Oh, absolutely, of course. I mean, I don't think you can win in that job. You know, not everyone's gonna like you. That's never gonna happen. And you know, people that bitch, you know, they bitch loudest. Their voices are gonna be heard more than people that praise anything. But you know, this guy, and people have to know, they've done enough TV shows and movies and everything about presidents that obviously have to have some facts behind them. People have to know that this guy can't honestly just do whatever he wants. You know, there's people that tell him, you know, you need to say this, you need to address this, we need to address this later. You know, things such as that. He has to follow rules himself. He can't just do everything he wants, really. And people should also know that tons of decisions that are made, they're not just made by him. He's not snapping his fingers and saying, raise the gas prices, lower the gas prices, do this, pass this. You know, that goes through so much bullshit. You can't just blame one guy. And also not to mention these people that, okay, being a booker at wrestling is hard. It's for like 30 people. This guy's booking the fucking country. Can you imagine? Can you imagine for 30 million people or whatever the fuck we're housing now? It's too damn much. But can you imagine having to be in control of that shit? this
where
guy's
a good percentage
underpaid.
of them think you're part of a conspiracy to destroy their religion. That's frightening. Yeah, that would be difficult.
When a percentage think, hey, this random guy to kill 5 soldiers in Chattanooga, Tennessee. I bet Obama heard the words Chattanooga, Tennessee, and was like, is that a real place? Like, is this real? I mean, that these conspiracy theories, that they're like, this guy's been in power for a while. If he wanted to strike with something big, it could have happened a million times over. And watch this not even be connected to terrorism. Watch it be a guy that decided to do this. And that happened, and that sucks. And if there was a way to stop it, it would be so great, but there's not. I mean, if someone wants to do you harm, chances are they're going to.
Yeah, and if those are the unequivocal facts, and it comes out that he wasn't, I don't know that a large percentage of that populace is even going to believe that. They've already got it in their head that they're going to say that it was a cover-up or what have you. And that's, like I said, that's a little frightening, But anyway, like I said, I'm just hating on fucking the overabundance of negativity on social media, and I got to unfollow a bunch of people until this shit blows over, and then once all my close friends are cool, some family members got the boot, but you can still contact me on Facebook. You still contact me, I can still contact you. I can go check on you and see what you're doing. I'm just not barraged by your fucking opinions all day long and your inaccurate fucking alleged facts that you post. So anyway,
yeah, because I don't check that stuff a lot anyway. I just scroll through. If it ain't some cool comic book character or some big titties in the picture, I ain't stopping for it. We need a new Facebook that you can report negativity, and that shit is just wiped off immediately. It's got to be all comic book stuff and titties and movies and wrestling shit, but positive shit. Not no nasty titties, big, beautiful breasts. Hey, and side note, World War III, that is a bad idea. It never worked. 60 men in 3 rings is too much.
Yeah, and then you might get a run-in from the Yeti, and then you'd all be fucked.
The fucking Yeti, that's a terrorist attack. That's what people should be bitching about. Eric Bischoff is fucking ISIS.
I mean, he was covered head to toe in rags, just saying.
Yes, and Sullivan and King Curtis Ikea, those are terrorists. Fucking Dungeon of Doom.
We're gonna wrap up Old Man Haters now. Take a quick break. We'll be back with the tales of the single man. I've been waiting to hear this one. Don't go anywhere on the Midnight Black Mass.
The Midnight Black Mass is pleased to announce we have become an affiliate of the World Wrestling Network at wwnlive.com, the home of the finest iPay-per-view and video on demand in all of professional wrestling, featuring promotions like Dragon Gate USA, Evolve, Combat Zone Wrestling, OVW, Shimmer, Shine, $5 Wrestling, and the vaunted Kayfabe commentaries with their You Shoot, their guest booker, and their timeline series. You have to check it out. Of course, you can always go to their main page at wwnlive.com, but if you will, do us a solid, go to facebook.com/pottyhumor or follow me on Twitter at Dragons Rejects. We'll be posting our own unique links to these events as affiliates. If you go through our link, they give us a little kickback, and we greatly appreciate it.
Whether you're having an autograph session, personal appearance, or live event, we got just the person you need to contact for all of those needs. SBI Bookings is home of some of the best stars in the wrestling industry today. They provide you with the best talent this business has to offer, from Kevin Nash, Larry Zbyszko, Scott Steiner, and many, many more. So who will you contact next time you're planning an event? The men of SBI Bookings. Check them out at sbibookings.com.
Wrestling fans, Anarchy Wrestling television tapings are the second and fourth Saturdays of every month at 4236 Level Grove Road in Cornelia, Georgia. For more information on Anarchy Wrestling and on the shows, to watch the television product, and a whole lot more, go to anarchy-wrestling.net. That's Anarchy Wrestling, the second and fourth Saturdays of every month in Cornelia, Georgia.
Where can you find 24/7 pro wrestling, MMA, talk radio, and more? BeyondRingside.com, featuring 24/7 streaming audio, including the Midnight Black Mass, Sundays at 11 p.m. Eastern Time, except for pay-per-view weekends when they run a mini marathon and the Midnight Black Mass goes on as its namesake at midnight. But don't forget the other great shows like Beyond Ringside, Wrestle Rage, To Be Determined, and more. That's BeyondRingside.com. Hey kids, get your official Midnight Black Mass merchandise just in time for Halloween at midnightblackmass.spreadshirt.com. Be the coolest ghoul on the block with your brand new Reject or Midnight Black Mass t-shirt. Get them exclusively online. Online exclusive, people. midnightblackmass.spreadshirt.com. In this age of technology, appearance can make or break your franchise. Need to stand out in the crowd? ForceFX is proud to work with each and every customer to bring them exciting new designs to reinvent their brand. Satisfaction guaranteed. Custom innovative logos can leave a lasting impression and add just the professional touch needed for you or your business to truly thrive. Let us help you grow with your own custom logo, starting out at the incredibly low price of $25. ForceFX knows how to advertise. If you need flyers, business cards, web pages, promos, billboards, signs, or anything else designed differently and expertly, we can help. Send a message today with what you have in mind, and together we can create exactly what you need. The best designs, the best deals, designed differently. ForceFX. Find out more at facebook.com/ForceFXDesigns or call 423-637-8784.
In a world filled with sluts, whores, and women who make questionable choices, one man sets out to fuck them all. Will our hero fuck or fail?
We're back on the Midnight Black Mass. It's time for the tales of the single man. Fuck or fail. The streak has been long-lived here up until episode 9 of the Midnight Black Mass, but based on your earlier description, I don't know if this one went so well. Why don't you tell us about it?
Oh, holy shit, man. Oh, God. Okay, so I mentioned the evening that almost ended with me urinating on someone. I just said aloud, I need to make changes in my life. That happens to you every now and then. You just look in the mirror, you look long, you look hard, and you realize, I've made mistakes. And I can't take them back, but I got to move forward, and I got to make some changes. And I'll tell you what, I've had that feeling every day for the past week because of this situation. This is horrible. And, I'm working on some new things. The whole situation has led to a possible great window for some more upcoming stories, but we're going to have to see how that plays out. Hopefully I can feel some new. I proclaimed love to take it in the ass based purely on her walking by one time. We remember this discussion, correct?
Yes.
And it turns out that she loved taking the ass, and she was a squirter, and all of this stuff. And I fucked her, and it was like blah, blah, blah. It was so-so. It was whatever. It was cool, but whatever. So she hits me up, and she wants me to come fuck her. So I do, because I got a podcast to do mainly. It's so bad, I don't know if it's because of I'm so old now, or I'm just so bitter, or what, but now I don't have a desire to have sex. I don't know if I even know how to make love. I don't think I do. But now I'm just fucking so I can talk to you about it. This is the wrong decisions I'm making. But they're my decisions, so people shouldn't judge me. If you're listening to the podcast, you're just as fucked up as I am because you love this shit and you know it. So here's what happens. I go over there. Hoy. So she starts sucking my dick, and it's good. You know, it's all good. Cool stuff, A for effort, whatever. So she starts tongue in the brown. It's all good. It's all fun. I'm using her face like a lazy boy recliner. I'm smacking her snatch around a little bit, and this was an awesome part. I do have to say this was an amazing sight. I've seen plenty of women squirt, and I've seen them squirt a lot, and I'm a big fan. But I've never seen one, literally go from one couch in a living room to another couch in a living room. It literally could have put out fires.
Wow.
The bitch is a fire hydrant, meaning that she's probably been pissed on by a dog once in her life, but that's a whole nother story. Okay, so that happens. So she wants to go in her room. They all want to go in the room. I think the light's sitting there, they don't feel so exposed. But the bitch is exposed. Ain't no hiding her now. So, oh my God. Before I get going, she says, stick it in my ass. No warm-up. No, the warm-up you just heard, but that's not too much of a warm-up. She says, stick it in my ass. So I do, and like we discussed last time we discussed this, no lube, no lubrication, no warm-up, no two-finger prime, no shocker, no mandible claw, mankind style, nothing. Not even any spit. I didn't buy this bitch dinner, and I did not even spit on my dick. But she took it all. She took it all. It was amazing to me that this even happened. It's also amazing to me that I was probably the 100th guy to enter this ass, I'm thinking. I don't know. Because we know, let's call a spade a spade. I'm a big motherfucker. I'm ready to roll, son. And she was just taking it like a champ. So I'm going at it, and it's all good and it's all fun. Now, I've heard horror stories from people about ass fucking. I've heard many horror stories, some of which I believed, some of which I did not believe. Well, let me tell you, I'm here to confirm, 100% confirmed, these horror stories are all real. They're all real, because do you know what happens when you fuck the girl in the ass real hard with a massive penis, and she's not a professional porn star who takes great effort to make sure that this is a pleasurable experience for everyone, including the viewers at home? Do you know what happens, Daniel?
I think I know.
Exactly what you fucking think happened. If she was in prison, I'm saying if this chick was in prison and she was given the option, shit on my dick or blood on my knife, I promise you she would make it out of there unscathed. Do you pick up what I'm throwing down?
I'm picking it up, piece by smelly piece.
You know me. I may sound like a just horrible human being, but I'm squeamish when it comes to some things. I don't like when women talk about their time of the month in front of me and talk about their things and their tampons and all this stuff. That's just not for me. I don't like to hear about that. So this was like that times 30. And I'm not talking, shitting on the walls, but this was if you have you ever asked me, Andy, how much shit would you be comfortable with on your body? This answer is, it's below this amount. It's much, much less than the amount that was on my body. I just froze. I froze, and let me ask you this, Stan. You're an intelligent guy. I want you to think for a second and tell me what you think the first two words out of my mouth were.
It's shit.
No, but close. I literally just stop and go, oh, shit. And used out of context, that means many things. She goes, what? What's wrong? And I go, literally. That's all I said. And she's like, oh, God. She jumps up and runs away and all that stuff. I try to play it cool, like, oh, it's no big deal. But it's a big deal. I was scared. I've never had anything like this. I mean,
you were fecal filed.
Yes. I mean, I've been shit on by life. I've been shit on by the wrestling business. I've been shit on by all the boys in the locker room. But figurative, that's not real. Like, this one literally shit on me. I don't even know how to overcome something like that.
Could this be the end of fuck or fail, folks? Could this be the last straw? Could this be the time that Andrew Alexander finally calls it quits after getting sprayed like the woman in the front row at a Gallagher concert?
Oh, my God, man. And I think she'd had watermelon that day. I could see seeds. I mean, I don't know. Just my life is not going in the proper direction in all forms. You know, I'll be doing okay for a while, and then something like this happens, and I'm just like, what have I done wrong? I don't know. I think, needless to say, I think I'm done with anal sex, at least until the next time it's presented to me.
Well, you know, the poop is an occupational hazard of the butt stuff. So, just for all of our listeners out there, don't think you're gonna, you know, maybe you and your lady are celebrating your anniversary. You're gonna get experimental. You're gonna try something new. This is not something you can just jump right into, pun intended.
I mean, I've done this before where I don't believe it was known that it was going to happen, or I've at least attempted before where I don't believe it was known it was going to happen, and there was no freaking out, there was no, oh, what if, and everything was fine. You know, I got to believe that she had a good idea this was going to happen once I committed to coming over there, especially when she started it with stick it in my ass. Like, did she rib me? Is this a rib? Do you
think it was a deranged act of revenge because you could not perform when she wanted you to urinate on her?
Oh, no. This is a completely different person.
Oh, I thought it was the same one. I'm sorry. My mistake.
No, completely different person. So, well, hell, if I couldn't urinate on a person, I damn sure don't want fecal matter all over me. What if I would have somehow got some sort of infection? I mean, I don't know how that stuff works.
It is poop, after all. So, you know, I mean, you want to try to clean up quickly there. But,
I've never cleaned so. I ain't never cleaned so quick in my motherfucking life. I was scrubbing, and usually you wait till you get home till you start scrubbing and praying. No, I started scrubbing and praying to God immediately.
I used to have a shit phobia at one point. Like I was like literally like horrified by shit. Like it would make me sick to my stomach to even look at it. Then I had a kid, and when you have to change diapers all the time because you know they can't do it themselves, so that's something you just kind of nut up and get over. I don't know anybody that would enjoy it, at least in my circle of friends that I know of.
Well, I just don't know how to handle this situation because I'm working on something. I'm working on something big. I'm working on something that could result in a good story. So I have to at least keep this chick around. But I don't. I mean, this. I don't know. We'll see. But you've got a lot of options of what to name this show now. I think "Holy Shit" could be just acceptable.
Fuck or fail, Tales of the Single Man. Holy shit! This week on the Midnight Black Mass. Holy fuck! You never cease to amaze me with your antics, and if you're trying to top this, so the streak continues, folks. He fucked, but
yeah,
he got a little extra bonus.
I fucked and fell into a vat of shit. Maybe if you're out there, I mean, even if you've got a little penis, I think there needs to be some warming up and some stretches and some DDP yoga, and I think there's a process to get ready. Even if you've got a small dick and she's like, oh, yeah, let's ram it in my ass, I mean, maybe that is a red flag, you know. I'm not saying I just pounded it in like I owned the place or anything, but I went in with pretty much the greatest of ease, and that should not happen.
Well, if you take Andrew Alexander's advice, hopefully you can avoid being the next Augustus Gloop.
And there's a And if you're in the wrestling business, you may have heard stories, but I promise you, there's a big difference in shit in the bed and shit in the dick. So,
well, on that note, I think it's time to play America's favorite game show. Are you ready to switch gears from fucking or failing to a little bit of someone else fucking and possibly failing as well?
Of course, I love it.
Well, absolutely, because it's fucking time right now for America's favorite game show.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to America's favorite game show, Promo or Porno.
Welcome to Promo or Porno, the game show where you never want to come up short or leave empty-handed. This is the Reverend Dan Wilson, your host, alongside my co-host, Mr. Andrew Alexander.
Ready for some fucking and sucking.
And also some porn.
And porn.
So, ladies and gentlemen, we have our contestant on the line. He joins me as part of the Empire Wrestling broadcast team, and he is going to be our contestant tonight for Promo or Porno. Mr. Gabe Walters, how are you doing tonight?
I'm doing well, sir. How are you guys doing tonight?
Hanging and banging.
Hanging and banging. That's a good thing. Looks like you hung in a little too long there.
It didn't take that long. Hey,
I don't know if I'd be proud of that.
When Daddy's drilling for oil, son, he don't mess around.
And like Jed Clampett, you fucking hit the bubble and crude.
Yeah, but I don't get to move out to Beverly Hills. I'm still stuck here.
I don't know, man. After that, I'd get as far away from that bitch as I could.
I mean, I know it happens, but, you know, there's some things in your life where you think that'll never happen to me. I mean, look at last week's, you know, we had a terrorist attack. What could be a terrorist attack in Chattanooga? You think that will never happen to me. I live in a small town. That'll never happen. Boom, it happens. You think of, you know, maybe your children get taken or stuff. You know, that's a horrible fear to have, but you always think that'll never happen to me. No one will ever murder anyone in my family. That'll never happen to me. I'll never look down and have my dick covered in shit. That'll never happen to me. And then boom, one day you look down and you look like fucking Lex the Impaler. I've heard of chocolate covered bananas, but this was ridiculous.
Well, if Mr. Gabe Walters is successful tonight, perhaps he will see the aforementioned Lex the Impaler in action. Why don't you tell him what he's playing for on this round of Promo or Porno?
I believe, don't we still have the gift certificate to bigtitslikeBigDicks.com?
Sounds
yes, we do. Giving that away. And well, let me ask you, because we've asked all of our competitors this question. Andrew, Gabriel, Walters, do you like big tits?
Who doesn't?
That's a good answer. Now let me ask you this. Do you like big dicks?
That I do not.
Well, okay, so explain yourself. So when you're watching porn and you're watching these big tits, you like to see them wrapped around a little bitty, tiny, flaccid penis?
I think I've seen that movie where this next line comes through, but no.
So you like it wrapped around big, huge cock, right?
I don't think I'd be focusing on that part of the body.
Well, I just don't have any shame in saying it. Neither, and our other guests have come clean. I don't want to see some 2-inch pop cock tearing up some girl's asshole. That doesn't make me feel like she's a good performer or a trooper. I want to see fucking Mandingo ripping this girl's ass apart. I don't care to say it. I don't care to say it. I prefer a huge, thick cock. That's what I prefer.
If you like big dicks, that's up to you. I don't have any say in that.
Well, I like big dicks. I cannot lie. and I'm pretty sure you other brothers can't deny.
Porn is fantasy, you know. You're not looking for real life here. This is supposed to be an exaggerated version of sex. So yeah, I mean that's what they're there for.
Absolutely.
If I wanted to watch guys with little dicks fuck, I would sneak into Tank's bedroom at night.
Fuck. So, wow. After all of that, I believe we're ready for our first question. Mr. Walters, are you ready? Do you have your cross-examination hat on? Are you ready to tell me if this clip? Okay. Here we go. Clip number 1.
Oh, my God. What did you do? Oh, my God. I totally just nailed him in the head. See it? Okay. Oh, my God. Hello? Are you awake?
This all settled out as soon as possible. Don't worry.
Go ahead. Put him down. Let's get rid of the body.
Promo or porno?
I'm going to go with porno on that one.
That is correct.
No. That first question
for
people.
Out the gate, Gabe Walters. I was going to say the first one has been the death sentence for many, many competitors here on Promo or Porno. That first question has been a doozy. If you get past the first question, you might make it all the way through. Many of our other guests have. It was that first question that stumped them.
That one was pretty easy. I didn't hear any sure giveaway terms, so.
Fair enough.
Well, let's hear number 2. Let's see if he can hang in there and become our second winner ever.
Let's see how you do. Question number 2, Promo or Porno. Here we go.
I am good. I am just so damn good. Wow, I'm great. Wow.
Promo or porno?
Let's go with promo on that one.
Damn, that is correct.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
What
2
promo
for
was that
2.
from?
That was the introductory vignette for Val Venus.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, okay. I don't remember it getting that crazy. I just remember him saying a bunch of really sexually driven innuendos.
He was laying on a bed watching his upcoming feature and talking about how he was coming soon to the World Wrestling Federation.
Man, 2 out of 2. We could have our second winner ever. We need to get one of those little plaques made, like, for Employee of the Month.
No pressure or anything.
On the ringside table while I'm announcing.
Hey, that's right.
And then the next time Gabe Walters joins us, he'll be former Empire ring announcer Gabe Walters.
Yeah.
What victorious. Keep it in your bedroom or on your phone, like just away from prying eyes. But you're not there yet. You got one more question.
One more.
And no pressure or anything, but there's only been one previous winner in promo or porno history. You will be making history.
And that is former 2-time Empire Tag Team Champion Corey Cox. And if you live up to the debauchery that is his life, well, that says a whole lot about you.
You've only known me a few years, so there's quite a past.
Everyone's got their secret.
That's right.
The unassuming dark horse, ring announcer Gabe Walters. Down to the final question here. So, are you ready for clip number 3?
I'm ready.
Here we go.
What? No money? Yes. Suck a cock.
Promo or porno?
Promo.
Judges?
So close.
Oh, the heartbreaking finale.
What kind of porno was that from?
It's some European porno where an old man had fixed this girl's bicycle, and she didn't have enough money to pay him. And so he said, "What? No money?"
Man, I know if I'm going to fuck a bicycle, I want my cash.
Right?
I don't go around fucking bikes for free.
Well,
that's what happened.
That's the rule.
Well, if he would have won, I would have questioned if he enjoyed my shitty story tonight. You got to be quite perverse to win at this game.
The story
Bill
was
Corey
hilarious.
Cox. Say it again?
I said that story was hilarious. It was funny.
Not if you lived it, it wasn't.
I can't argue with that. No argument.
After that one, you'll be begging Bane Lynch to spill water on you.
Yeah, definitely.
Well,
I'm glad I
Gabe,
don't hang out with. I'm glad I don't hang out with Bane Lynch on a personal level, because there's no telling what sort of fucked up stories I find myself in.
There's a reason they call him the Baniac. Gabe, thank you very much for joining us, my friend. Sorry that you didn't come away with the big prize, but you came very, very close, and certainly you're welcome to come back on down the line and try it again.
I appreciate the time, brothers. You guys have a great week.
Hey, you
too, man, and we'll try to get Corey Cox to send you a picture of his dick.
Well, I don't need that, but I'm sure if I get it, it'll be forwarded from your phone. So.
Yeah.
See ya. See you, man.
Gabe Walters, ladies and gentlemen, Empire ring announcer, part of the Empire broadcast team with myself, learning that he was a little more well-versed on the porno side of things than we thought, but did not come away with the brass ring.
who's going to be that next champion. I'm telling you, it's going to be tough.
I know Kyle Matthews, the greatest wrestler in the state of Georgia, former protege of the Nightmare Tate Allen. He wants to add the Promo or Porno Championship to his trophy case.
Yeah, we're going to try to get him next week. Coincidentally, a week from today is when his daughter is due. So hopefully we could get Kyle Matthews on the game show live from the hospital.
That would only be
I think.
Fittingly fucked up for the Midnight Black Mass. So, you better ready to take a commercial break and come back and dig into the mailbag.
But you do not get to win, shitbird. We do.
Won't you cry? Oh, shitbird, yeah.
What was it? Shitbird?
And now, the Shitbird Break, featuring your friendly neighborhood strong-style psycho, Tank.
If you bitch about your $5 payoff, but you keep going back to that show, you might be a shitbird.
This has been the Shitbird Break, featuring the strong-style psycho, Tank. Tune in each and every week on the Midnight Black Mass to find out how you can avoid being a shitbird.
He's left dozens of women sexually unfulfilled. He's not on speaking terms with any of his ex-lovers. He will unquestionably die alone.
Dear Andy.
Hello, lonely hearts of internet land, and welcome to the segment on the Midnight Black Mass where we answer your questions. That's right. Our resident love guru and Lothario and Augustus Gloop swimming in the river of chocolate. Ladies and gentlemen, Mr. Andrew Alexander.
Augustus. I gotta say, man, I really enjoy that bumper intro into this segment. It's hilarious, but when I really listen to it, it kind of makes my heart cry.
You wrote it.
That's why it's hilarious, but it also makes my heart sweet. Just a little, but tonight I don't think we're going to have to spend a lot of time on this, just because we finally got our reply to an email that we received a couple of weeks ago, and we wanted some more information. Do you remember the girl who lost her virginity and then immediately was asked by the boy to stick a Coke bottle inside of her?
Yes.
She was a little underage, and but yet we answered her. We tried to help her out a little bit. She wanted to know if he just didn't respect her. Well, we asked the questions: was what type of Coke bottle? Was it a glass Coke bottle, a 20-ounce, 2-liter, an off-brand 3-liter possibly? Very important questions. And also, did she let him do it? Because that wasn't really included in the original question. But she hit us back up. She gave us our answers. And also kind of a follow-up question. She stated it was a 20-ounce Coke bottle with the lid on. I guess that can matter because you want to squeeze some air in there, and then you might get some of the old Satchmo coming back out. And nobody likes that. That's a mood killer. That's a mood killer every time.
That's what when it starts sounding like Louis Armstrong.
Yeah. Unless you're with a black woman, because I heard Richard Pryor once said that the black women they'll just be like, "It's talking to you, Daddy. the pussy's talking to you." Oh,
okay,
man.
well,
I gotta get. Let's throw it out there on the Black Mass, can't we? Let's just throw it out there. If you're a black listener and you're a female, I mean, I just gotta find out. I've got to find out. I'm 31 years old. I'm not getting any younger. I got to find out. Hit me up. Ask Andy MBM for Midnight Black Mass at hotmail.com, and let's get something going. Maybe you got a friend, maybe you know somebody that knows somebody who knows something about it, or maybe you're just down to fuck the co-host of one of the hottest up-and-coming podcasts in the world. That should go on your resume. So, Daddy needs some chocolate. Ladies, come on, help me out. But she did state it was a 20-ounce Coke bottle with the cap on, and she did state, yes, she did allow him to do this. Now, I think I should have replied and just asked more questions, because now I'm kind of curious as if there were pictures taken, if there were other people who got to view it. I still wonder if it was an actual Coke or a Pepsi or a Dr. Pepper, because people say Coke about everything, but hell, it could have been a Sprite. You know, I'd like to know a little more specifics of the name brand. That has no effect on the story. I'm just curious. She then asked, she said, since that night, I've tried speaking to him a few times to get together, and he either blows me off or ignores me. Did he just use me to have sex and nothing else and never wants anything to do with me again? Or am I looking into this the wrong way? Well, me personally, let's say I'm a young man. Let's say I'm in my early 20s. I have sex with a girl. I take her virginity. She lets me stick a Coke bottle inside of her. I've got other options out there. There's a decent chance that this one would be put on the back burner and used if caught in a slump of some kind. You know, depending if she was really hot or stuff like that. Because a lot of people don't realize that sometimes you got to hold on to those crazy ones like that, because if she's already taking Coke bottles, who else knows what's going to happen, you know? But, you know, I'd probably push her to the side. Now, if I was an older man with less options, because, I mean, you think I get laid now, 5-6 years ago, I was just murdering bitches. As you get older, you get less options. So, you know, older
with his penis, theoretically, for anyone, any filters that might be trying to pick up something devious there. Continue.
Oh no, I didn't murder anyone, but with my penis, I think I thought murder could have happened. So I mean, I was just slaying bitches. That's what I'm saying. I was the cunt slayer. That's my new name. Add that to the intro to the show, please. But, you know, now, if I got with some chick and just the first night, I'm like, hey, can I stick this Coke bottle in you? And she's like, cool. Now, at this point, I kind of keep her not close by. You know, we're not going to go out. She's not going to meet my parents or anything. But I'm going to keep her around a little bit, once a week, twice a week thing, especially if she's easy and convenient and is going along with this. So that could be a case here. This guy just has a lot going on, thinks he has a lot more options than he probably does. Either way, I don't think anything serious could have come from this, because, I mean, just the type of guy that will date you, the first time he met you, he stuck a Coke bottle inside of you, and he would still want to date you. Honestly, you don't want that guy. He's crazy. He knows he can't do any better than you, so he's just settling for your Coke bottle and ass. I just can't. You never see the movie, the love story that starts, it was a rocky situation when we met. He fucked me and stuck a Coke bottle in my pussy. But now we have Sunday brunch together and go antiquing. That's not how those stories start. Am I wrong here, Rev?
I mean, I'm sure there's exceptions, but you have a strangely old-fashioned sensibility about dating, but you're still a deranged, perverted fuck, so it's a pretty interesting dichotomy. I think a psychiatrist would make a lot of money off of you.
Wait, what do you mean? What do you mean?
you like, I mean, you know, in the modern era, I think people are a little more like you're right on what you're saying here. I'm not disagreeing with that. I'm just stating that, you know, you seem to have a more traditionalist view of romance. That's not a bad thing. That's just the kids are a little bit wilder these days, is what I'm getting at.
But I don't understand. What do you mean I have a more traditionalist view on romance?
You just seem a little old-fashioned.
I am, kind of. Maybe.
Yeah, like I said, there's nothing wrong with that.
I'm much more particular about someone I would date than someone I would fuck. I mean, because I think that people get those things intertwined, and there's a lot of difference going on there. You know, I can fuck old shit sickle, but that don't mean I won't ever, like, take her out to eat and talk to her. What are we going to talk about? Hey, remember that time you shit all over me? Yeah, that was funny.
Yeah, and that's like I said, you're absolutely right about that situation. I'm not saying I don't think the terms have to be mutually exclusive if someone's cool and just like super freaky. You know, like I was saying, you could pass up a choice just by being a little too stringent there. But you know, if the conversation sucks and that's all that's there, then that's all that's fucking there. So you know what I mean.
Yeah, I don't think that you want anything to really grow from Coke bottle. That's just, I mean,
generally speaking, I would say you're right.
Yeah, I mean, maybe this is the rarest case in the world where this guy is a great guy and like really attracted to you and felt something there is opened up to you, but he just likes to put Coke bottles in people's pussy. I mean, there's things that I like that people would be like, what the hell is wrong with you? You know? I mean, I don't know if I can, I mean, I've stuck a blow pop in a girl. I mean, what's the problem? I just want to see
the Willy
what
Wonka references never end with you.
Oh, I definitely, back in the day in high school, there was a famous story of, I had a girl videotaped masturbating with Laffy Taffy. That's shoot, brother. It was brand name Laffy Taffy. That's real deal.
The Candyman can.
Oh man, Andy, eye candy. Candy for your mouth, candy for your puss. I'm just making up jingles here. I got to be honest with you, man. I took some shit before you called. Help me sleep. I think I'm a little fucked up.
Are you tripping on ambien?
How'd you know?
Well, that's the thing that most people take to help them sleep. And as an aside, some people also take it recreationally, where they will take it to help them sleep but try to stay up, and you'll just trip balls, apparently. Allegedly, from what I've heard.
Well, allegedly, you've heard correct, my friend. I didn't. I don't know if I answered that. Coke bottle girl. No, you just need to leave him alone. Like, if he wants you, if a guy wants you, he'll go for it. Sometimes they may be a little scared to approach or something like that, but you can't just constantly throw yourself out there and come across as kind of desperate and needy. So I would just pull back completely. If he wants something else, change his mind and comes to you, just maybe sit down and talk about what's up before you lead to sex with any objects. And just try to find a new man. Maybe take things a little slower. A little slow, just fuck, and then get going, and then find out what he wants to do. He wants to use nipple clamps on you. That's cool. He wants to hook those little clothespins from your labia. That's fine. Lots of stuff. He wants to shave your pubic hair into the shape of his first name's initial.
that's cool, unless it's an A, because then that's really hard to do. A's are difficult to draw in pubic hair. You know, just wait a little while before you explore the crazy side of people, because everybody's got one. Most of them just won't tell you about it on a fucking podcast that anyone can listen to. I'm just realizing this may be a huge mistake.
But we're not anyone.
I hope I don't get famous, man. What if I somehow blew up? Just somehow it's like, this guy, he's great. He's in a movie and he's in another movie, and man, that Andy's, oh shit. that Andy, he's something, man. He's all over the place. Oh yeah, well listen to this shit. Boom, career over. That's okay though, man, because I don't care how famous I get. I'll stand behind it. I'll tell them right up front. I'll go on fucking Jimmy Fallon and that other Jimmy Kimmel, and I'll say, ass-eating art form, and I'm fucking Picasso.
You are just a fucking live wire tonight, my friend.
Hot, young, running free, a little bit better than it used to be.
Because I'm alive.
Live wire! Because I'm alive.
Fuck. Well, just to our listener, you know, you got ghosted, which is a word the kids are using these days. When I heard that first, I thought it just meant getting fucking like teabagged by a ghost, but apparently it's when somebody just fucking drops all contact with you. And so that means that probably wasn't a good idea, like Andy said. Wait till you get a little more involved in the relationship to bust out the parlor tricks, and then it'll be spicing things up, and they'll think it's amazing. So just, you know, hold that card.
Yeah, you just got to wait. I mean, no, that's a bad example. I mean, if you're going to come on a girl's face, you might not want to do it the first time you have sex with her, but if you kind of bring it up slyly while you're inside of her and she's cool with it, then you can do it. But you don't want to be just kind of slipping it into the conversation immediately. You want to wait till you fuck a few times. You need to get them hooked on the pussy or hooked on the dick enough to where they really enjoy it, and then you start throwing them the curveballs. Like, bitch, I'm going to slap you in the face with a can of baked beans when I come. And they'll be into it. They'll be like, oh, okay, well, we can try new things. And you smack her. And sometimes they like when you spit in their face. I don't understand why. But, I mean, I have saliva. I'll do it.
Are we talking Hormel, Van Camp?
Bush family secret. I got the family secret. Your mother was a whore, Bush. That fucking dog. I know it's fucking that dog. Talking dog.
What the fuck are you talking about?
Bush's beans. They got a family secret, and the dog's always trying to figure it out.
Oh, yeah, okay, gotcha. Sorry.
You got a family secret, and the dog wants to know what the fuck it is. And I just told the secret. His mother's a whore.
There you have it. Midnight Black Mass exclusive, folks. I think that's going to wrap up this off-the-rails edition of the Midnight Black Mass. Any final thoughts before you just totally go off the deep into Ambient Express?
It's over. This thing's over. I thought we was just getting started.
No.
Man, fucking, they don't want to give me no more Ambien, man. My insurance don't want to pay for it.
Oh, that's bullshit.
It's definite bullshit when a doctor says this guy needs his Ambien. It's not like I abuse it. I mean, this might count, but I didn't mean to. I just wanted to fall asleep as soon as we were done. Nothing wrong with that.
Well, as long as you head to the bed, I think you'll be okay. I remember one time, fucking one of our former wrestling associates, I won't dime him out, but he took some Ambien trying to sleep, and he woke up naked in his car. So just keep that in mind. You want to try to get to sleep. You don't want to try to be staying awake on that shit because you might be something fucking insane.
Who was it? Time him out.
He's retired. Fuck it. It was JT Talent.
JT Talent. Oh man, talent and money.
That was a good tag team.
Yeah. I wonder what the fuck that guy's doing.
Talent got married, and he's had a child and just living a happy domestic life. Had to retire due to an injury. That guy was a hell of a talent. Like, no pun intended. He was really destined for great things, and unfortunately got that career cut short. I'll always feel bad about that because I was the booker when they had those just brutal fucking matches. I didn't ask them to go do any of that stuff, but it was still like that always weighed on my conscience a bit that he got hurt doing that.
Yeah, I mean, he knew that. He knows what's up. He knows the price. He was good though. He was a good dude. I liked him.
Yeah, he definitely was. Like, he was a huge future. He could talk, he could work, and he had no idea how good he was, as green as he was. You know, he was just he had great attitude. He was one that I really miss. I miss having that guy around. That happens to guys, though. You know, you get those can't miss prospects sometimes, and the worst fucking luck happens. But in any event, they're going to cut us off here soon, so I know we have totally rambled all over the fucking place here tonight, but it has been quite the adventure.
No rambling here. It's that fucking Gabe Walters' fault. Can't even win porno or promo.
I blame it all on him. So... All right, fans. Well, we're signing off here. This is the Reverend Dan Wilson for our ambient out, Andrew Alexander. Thanking you for joining us for this week's edition of the Midnight Black Mass. Check out Empire Wrestling, Facebook.com/Empire Wrestling, Empire PW on Twitter. Find Andrew Alexander on Facebook now at Andrew Alexander. Just search his name. You can find him, add him as a friend. He'll post updates and all kinds of good stuff. So anyway, keep one foot in the gutter, one fist in the gold, two horns in the air. This is the Rev with Andrew Alexander, and we're out.
Keep your dick clean.
This has been a production of the Potty Humor Network. Find us online at youtube.com/Potty Humor or subscribe to us weekly and never miss an episode by searching Potty Humor on iTunes or Stitcher. Thank you for listening and good night.